Hello everyone, Dr. Maiden here, and the theme of the video for today is how to do parenthetical or in-text citations. Okay, so this is a video that's going to be part of my series on writing advice, where I'm looking at how to improve your writing. So not only mistakes that you might be making, but just general tips and tricks on how to write better and write in a way that is not plagiarism. So there'll be a couple of videos I'll be doing looking at different aspects of citation styles. I'll link to the one down below where I talk about parenthetical, footnote, endnote, just kind of a general overview of the citation styles. This one is going to look particularly at how to use parenthetical or in-text citations properly. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of things, show you common mistakes students make, and show you how to make this easier for yourself. A couple of rules that'll be like simplifying this process for you of how to do this. Okay, so you're not going to see my face very much in this video. I'm going to be doing a lot of showing you text, and I'll be kind of talking over the text, and we'll be walking through some examples of citations. So we're going to get started here with the idea of single author. How to do a citation with a single author. So I've made this fake one here. This is Jane Smith, 2003, Electoral Gender Quotas and Comparative Perspective from the journal Political Studies. And we've got all the information there, the number, the volume, the year. Just as a breakdown for you, this is what your citation should have. It should have author name, year, article title, journal title in parentheses, number, volume, page numbers. It may be that you don't always have the number and volume, and that's fine. You need to give as much of this information as you can for any of the citations that you have. So this is for a journal. I'll link down below in this article so you can see how do I do a book, how do I do a book chapter, how do I do a website, right? That'll be linked down below so that you can see it. But so we're going to start with this sentence. We're going to keep this super simple. This is the sentence that I'm pretending is pulled from this article. So by 2017, 63% of seats in Rwanda's legislature were held by women. Okay, so what can we do with this? I'm going to start by showing you what some of the things you can do wrong with how to do a citation, an in-text citation, a parenthetical citation here. So you could do something like this. According to Dr. Jane Smith in her article, Electoral Gender Quotas and Comparative Perspective, blah, 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 the rest of the sentence. This is not a proper way to do an in-text citation. Number one, I don't need the title of the article. It's just taking up space. Number two, you don't have the year of the publication here. That's missing. So this one is a no. This is not going to be the right way to do this. Another thing students will like to do is something like this. Professor Jane Smith at the University of Florida, right? You want to tell me somehow where they're from or what they're doing or their status. Again, don't need that. That does not need to go in the in-text citation. All you're doing is a parenthetical. So something like this. According to Smith, parentheses 2003, that's the date of publication you're referencing for me. By 2017, 63% of seats in Rwanda's legislature were held by women. Okay. So if we go back here, those are ones that you can tag for the front end. How could we tag this sentence using a parenthetical on the back end of the sentence? So again, students will get really creative here and they'll try and put all kinds of things inside the parentheses. So Smith 2003, and again with the title of the article. No, it takes up too much space. I don't need the article title. The article title will go in your works cited at the end of your document. Okay. This one's interesting. What you're trying to do here is you're giving me your last name, you're giving me the year, but then you're giving me a page number. So page number isn't really essential, even though we are doing numbers here, but it's not essential because we're not quoting directly from this article. So pulling data, this can be a fuzzy point. Sometimes people will be like, oh no, you should if you're pulling data, if you're using numbers. But typically the way that I tend to do it, if you're not doing a quote, you don't need to cite with a page number data that you're pulling, okay? So this one we'll say again is a no. This is all you need. For if this is as much of the sentence or much of the document that you're taking out of Smith, you're just taking this sentence, You're paraphrasing it. You're not citing it directly. Smith 2003, right? Smith's the one that did this research. They're the one that know it's 63% of the seats. If you want more information, go see Smith. Okay? So we're back to our start here. By 2017, 63% of seats in Rwanda's legislature were held by a woman. What happens if I do this? Now I've changed the game because now I've made it a quote. I am quoting. This is verbatim taken from Smith. So now what do I need to do to show that this is not me, Dr. Maiden, saying this, this is Smith saying this? So you can do it, you can tag it at the front, according to Smith, 2003, and now we do need a page number because we are citing them, we are quoting Smith as saying by 2017, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Again, by 2017, I just realized, joke here, from using this sentence by 2017, the fact that Smith published in 2003 makes no sense. But let's side pass that here and just say that this makes sense. I should change it to 2030. Smith 2030, right? But again, here's how we can tag it at the end. Smith 2003, page 206, tagging it at the end. Bada bing, bada boom. That's all you need to put. And there you have done your proper in-text citation, okay? So now let's take a minute and say, what if I have multiple authors? So it's not just Smith, but it's also West. So Jane Smith and Ryan West have published this thing together. How do I cite them? It's the same thing. So here's 3 different examples. According to Smith and West, 2003, tag it at the end, Smith and West, 2003. If we're quoting them, same thing, quoting Smith and West, 2003, page number 206. Okay? Same thing applies, you're just using the ampersand West to connect them. If it's going to be multiple authors, 3 or more, you can do Smith and then put a space et al. E-T-A-L period. Smith et al. Smith E-T space A-L period and then the date. Smith et al. Say blah 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 blah. Cite it as 2003. What about multiple sources? So here now we're going to pretend we have 2 different articles. Jane Smith, Ryan West, 2 completely different articles. Okay, how do we cite them? Well, again, we've got our sentence here. By 2017, 63% of seats in Rwanda's legislature were held by women. Easy. According to Smith and West, separating each of these by their dates in parentheses so I know where to find them in your works cited. By 2017, blah, 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 blah. You can also tag it at the end. So by 2017, 63% of seats, blah, blah, blah. We've got Smith 2003, semicolon, West 2010. Okay? So anytime you can say, yeah, this figure 63%, I found this in more than one source and they both are saying something interesting about it, go to them for further reading, you can go to either Smith or West. Okay? So here's just an example of, these are 3 sentences slammed together that 2 of them need a citation, the other one doesn't. So this first one here, electoral gender quotas are designed to promote increased representation of women in government. That's just you stating a general fact about electoral gender quotas. You don't necessarily need to cite that. You're just telling me what it does. Then where you're bringing in information, where you're saying Rwanda has the largest percentage of women's representation in the legislature of any country, you got that info from Smith, cite her. Now we're going to assume West, who West did the specialized article on Rwanda, is the one that has data. And he says, according to West, this percentage peaked in 2017 at 63%. Right, so here's 3 sentences in a row. 2 of them needed cites because you're pulling on information that is not your own. One of them did not need a cite because it's just general information about quotas and what they are. I'll do more videos if this is useful to you to see a bunch of different variations of how to do this. That was just 3 basic ones. So you've got single author, multiple source. Obviously, there's a lot more things that you can do and things you can put into citations. Again, I'm going to link down below to some resources for you that you can check out on your own time that can help you fill out some of your gaps in your knowledge in terms of how to do in-text or parenthetical citations. My number 1 piece of advice to give you in order to learn how to do this well is just look at examples. Look at examples of things that have already been published. If you're in my class, any syllabus that I give you is going to have a list of required suggested readings. Anything on that suggested reading list, pull it up. I guarantee you, because it's political science, most of them will probably be using the parenthetical citation system. So just take a look at it. Look at all the different ways that they will string authors together, cite multiple authors, tag sentences at the beginning and the end, right? You can get flexible with it. That's my best piece of advice, though. Look at things that have been published, and then it can erase any question that you have of how do I do this. So clearly this video didn't get into how to actually create that works cited, but the expectation with parenthetical or in-text citation systems is that you will have a works cited at the end that provides the reference point to the reader about everything you're citing in the text. The second piece of advice that I'll give, and I'll reiterate this in other videos, is that you need to cite more. In general, undergraduate students do not cite enough. If you're going a whole paragraph and you're not citing a source, if you're going 2 paragraphs, my gosh, 4 paragraphs, and you haven't cited any sources, my alarm bells are ring-a-ding-dinging, okay? You have got to be citing more frequently, because as an undergrad, you're not some bastion of fantastic wisdom about political science. I'm sorry, I'm not as a PhD, I have to collect information from other people too. I have to cite my sources too. Look at anything I've published. I cite my sources. You need to cite your sources. Always err on the side of caution. Cite more as opposed to less. I would rather get a paper from you that has 17 sources than 2 sources, okay? Always be safe. Always be citing more compared to less, right? I'll be doing a lot more videos on citation styles and just doing works cited in general, but hopefully this is a good start for you. All right, have a great day.